When everyone wonder about the biggest ship of the world, the first name which comes to the mind is Titanic. It is no doubt one of the most popular ships which met with an unforgettable trouble on its first journey. There are many giant ships than the Titanic ship of which most of us not aware, and that's the reason why we have introduced you this list of the top 10 biggest ships ever which have worked out our ocean and sea. There are numerous methods of transport available presently and each one has its own benefits. Here we have the list of top 10 largest and biggest ships in the world. 10. TI Category Supertanker. The TI type of supertankers are at the moment the 4 biggest ships in the world. It has more length, decreased volume, despite this also more striking cruise. The deadweight tonnage of TI Oceania is around 440,000 tons along with the speed potential of rate between 16 to 18 knots. TI Oceania is a high ship with technologically to hurdle all the challenges which might happen during the trips. You desire TI Oceania is 380 meters, 1,247 feet. 9. Burj Emperor. The Burj Emperor was a huge oil tanker integrated the year 1975 in Japan by Mitsui and was one of the most important oil tankers of all time. It was released on the 30th of August 1975. The weight of the ship was 211,360 tons and the length was 381.82 meters. The ship was crummed at Kaohsiung on the end of March 1986. 8. CMA-CGM Alexander von Humboldt. Another tremendous cruise ship is CMA-CGM Alexander von Humboldt that is an explorer-class container ship intended for CMA-CGM. It is known as this after Alexander von Humboldt. It was the world's biggest container ship until the delivery of the Maersk Multiple E class. The length of the ship is 396 meters, 1,299 feet. The weight of CMA-CGM Alexander von Humboldt is nearly 187,624 tons. It also has the maximum speed of 20 knots, so it is mainly used for shifting oil tankers. 7. Emma Maersk. In the list of top 10 biggest ships of the world, Emma Maersk is currently the second biggest ship which is still in services. It was produced in 2006, therefore, it is in service because at that period, it was the biggest ship ever made in the world. According to reviews, it is able to take more than 11,000 20-foot equivalent units. The length this ship is 397.71 meters, 1,305 feet. It's a container ship which carries different products from one to another country. 6. Maersk Mckinney Møller. MV Maersk Mckinney Møller is the top cruise ship of members Maersk's Multiple E class of container, and at that time of its entry into service in 2013 she has the most important freight potential in TEU of any ship yet constructed and is the longest ship in services globally as of 2013. She was built for Maersk by Daewoo Shipbuilding and Underwater Technological Innovation (DSME) of South Korea, and the length of this tremendous one is about 400 meters. With the speed of 23 knots. 5. Esso Atlantic. It is one of 2 significant cruise ship in the history of the world that has deadweight over 500,000 tons. It has the length more than 406 meters with the amazing speed of 15.6 knots. So the deadweight potential of this ship is about 516,891. Esso Ocean has provided the world with its reliable services of straight 35 years. There's no need to say that it used to be the best ship of its time. This is generally an oil tanker which was used for transferring oil. 4. Batillus. Batillus class is known as Batillus Supertanker. It was also generally an oil tanker but also used for shifting other heavy equipment, so it was joined in the service in 1976. With the deadweight potential of almost 554,000 tons and speed of this tremendous ship was about 16 to 17 knots. With the length of 414.22 meters, 1,359 feet, Batillus was the 4th biggest ship. It made her last trip on December 28, 1985, from Vestnes to Kaohsiung, Taiwan. 3. Pierre Guillemat. It was the 3rd biggest ship ever built the history of the world. Named after the France politician and founding father of Elf Aquitaine Oil Company, Pierre Guillemat was a supertanker, built 1977 by Chantiers de l'Atlantique at Saint-Nazaire for Compagnie Nationale de Navigation. It entered in a minimal number of ports in the world and was therefore moored on overseas technicians, so deadweight tonnage of Pierre Guillemat was almost 555,000 tons, so a length of this cruise ship was about 414 meters with near about 16 knots of speed. 2. Seawise Giant. Seawise Giant is the second largest ship in the world. Was built in 1979 by Sumitomo Heavy Industries, Limited. It passionate the greatest deadweight tonnage ever recorded. At the time of completely loaded, its disarticulation was 657,019 tons, the heaviest ship of any type, so complete length of this cruise ship is about 458 meters with the overall speed of 16 knots. This ship began its trip during the War of Iran and Iraq. 1. Prelude FLNG. Prelude FLNG is the first cruise ship of the world sailing liquefied natural gas. Despite this, it is also biggest offshore capability ever designed. The Prelude is being constructed by the Technip New Samsung range in South Korea for a combined project between Kogas, Royal Dutch Shell and Inpex. It is biggest in the world because of its length, which is 488 meters, 74 meters extensive, therefore huge materials are used in construction of this ship because built with more than 260,000 tons of steel.